it doesn't matter what type of OCD you have. It matters how you respond to the thoughts or the images or the urges that you experience. Right?
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be fair.
And I want to just for a moment really emphasize too that idea of images and urges as well, because many people do talk about OCD thoughts, but I think it's important just to keep in mind for everybody else that OCD also is these urges that you might experience to do something or to have something done to you. And it could be images that pop into your head as well. And those are also fodder for OCD and things that might also be very distressing to individuals as well. So,
and they're fundamentally normal events. I think that's worth pointing out too, that if you have, let's say, an urge to do something that isn't in line with your identity, it makes sense that that bothers you and you'd want to do something about it. But it's really important to remember that part of being alive, part of consciousness, is to also be aware of thoughts and images and urges that don't line up with your identity. Your identity is a story that you cultivate, and that, you know, you do the best you can to try to live by that story, which is, kind of bolstered by your underlying values. But just because you had a thought or a feeling or sensation or an urge that doesn't line up with that identity doesn't actually mean there's a problem. That's actually how it's supposed to work, right? So I'm not a violent person in any way, but if I'm by a knife and I feel this sensation, like I have this urge to just reach for it, sure. I mean, naturally, my brain's gonna be like, "Hey, what are you doing there? Calm down," right? And I might think that that's a little, disturbing. But the urge itself is not a sign of mental illness or something's broken in my brain. It's perfectly okay to have thoughts and urges and sensations that don't line up with your identity. It's not a system that's designed to cater to your story.
Right. How many times have I been cut off in traffic and had the urge to just ram my car into the car that cut me off? Tons of times. I've never done it. So am I a bad person for the urge of having that? Or am I just a human being and I experience urges and I have images that pop in my head and I have random thoughts? And why are most of the random thoughts or things that pop in my head okay? But when they're in this one category, they're absolutely not okay and they're unacceptable. And that's where OCD comes in and really, I'd say, screws around with people's lives. It's saying that you can't have it in this area. You can have it in any other area, but you can't have it in this area. That's a problem.
Yeah, and it's your personal responsibility, your mission in life to address it. Because if you were to say, well, that was odd and leave it alone, then it's, that almost feels like you're skirting some moral responsibility to protect your identity.
Right.